Do it.
Right, and welcome to another TFF panel show. Very, very special because it's New Year's Eve and us wankers are sitting here doing this instead of being like real people. Although I do believe two of our guests, Dan and Andy, are about to have a party, so thanks very much for joining us. Looking very smart there, lads.
Thank you.
Can't say the same for you, Keith. You look dreadful, but nice to have you.
Better than the Spurs jersey, but anyway, go on.
Right, so we have Keith making his debut, the Blackburn manager. This is your first time on the TFF panel show. Hi, Keith.
Yeah.
We have Dan, season pro. You've been here a few times, Dan. And also we have your real life mate and a very, well, we can't say a very special guest, but we can say a very special Andy guest. And Andy is the boss of Everton. I thought
He's
that
wanted
pun
to
earlier.
say that. Yeah. He's planned that.
I got them all. Yeah, I got them all. Yeah. Andy, nice to have you.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, you're a difficult man to track down, but we finally got you. On New Year's Eve of all nights. Weird.
Best time.
Did you all have a good Christmas, lads?
That was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Now, remember, when this goes out and people are watching it, it's 2018, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Right then. Okay, look, onwards and upwards. Let's just crack on. First of all, let's get Division 4 out of the way. Right, has anyone got the Division 4 league table up?
Yeah, I have it up there.
Come in, Keith, tell us what's happening.
Well, Northampton are top. They're doing very well. Is Chris Haff's their manager? Chris Haff's their manager, yeah. He's doing a very good job there.
He's a legend.
Scunthorpe are second, and they're only a point behind. And who's the manager there? He was on the panel a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Philip.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
But the big thing is probably Sheffield United. They're in 7th, but the thing is, there's only 10 games gone. They're only 5 points off top.
They'll be there or thereabouts, won't they?
Yeah, well, they should have the squad, and other teams might struggle with a few injuries. So if they get a few injuries, it's very tight though. You have Milton Keynes in 13th with 15 points, Northampton top with 22.
Yeah. By the way, next week we've got the Grimsby boss coming on, and I do believe they're doing quite well.
Yeah,
they're up in 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been beaten once so far. That's pure second an error. Who's the manager then?
Who? Grimsby? Nick
Dunks. Yeah, he's a good manager though. He's a very
They're
good
the
manager.
form team. Them and Scunthorpe are the form teams in the division.
Well,
13.
Yeah, definitely.
It's funny, isn't it? Because Nick was... Look, I'll say this to him next week. Grimsby were crap last season, but they're doing much better this year.
Yeah.
And was he a manager last season?
Huh?
Was he a manager last season?
Yeah, and they didn't do very well. And Philip got relegated, so it's good to see different managers doing well. All right, that's Division 4. Let's get that out of the way. Right, on to Division 3.
Division 3, yeah.
Keith,
this is my
first of all, your team got relegated last year, but it's not your fault.
Yeah, I was still a bit disappointed though. I think there was 5 games left and we lost. We won 4 of them and we lost 1, and that was the one that actually put us down. I actually had to win all 5 to stay up in the end.
Well, you had a good go.
But if you had told me...
No.
Yeah, if you had told me 4 out of 5, I would have said we'd stay up.
Yeah.
But we
all
couldn't do
right,
that.
10 games,
But
you're
there
unbeaten.
was a good young... Yeah, 6 draws though, so that's a little bit frustrating. But at the same time, 4 points off top, but 4 points ahead of 13th, for example, which are Cardiff. So, for example, if we lose tonight to Millwall, they're level with us, and quite a few other teams could go level with us as well.
Yeah.
So it's very tight up there. But the thing is, with Wolves are in 12th. They're not far away points-wise. They have 7-8 players rated 88 and 1 rated 89.
Well, he is also
They
on
have
next
to get
week.
on.
Oh, the Wolves boss is also on the panel.
This is a good way then. No, but it's hard to criticise because he's only 7 points off the top. And as the season goes on, his squad should tell.
Well,
Surely.
I think it's easy to criticise.
Like,
They're a big club. Should be doing better.
Yeah, but Blackburn, for example, if my team get 2 87s injured, we're in serious trouble. If you get 2 87 rated players injured,
you've got quite a young team, I noticed.
Yeah, we've a young enough team, but then we've 3 or 4 players that are a bit older, rated 87, but they're unlikely to go down rating any time in the next, say the next changes or whatever. So I needed that line down the middle.
All right, 2 questions, Keith. What's the target for Blackburn this season?
The target for Blackburn this season is possibly a playoff place. If we can get a playoff place, I'll be delighted with that.
Yeah.
But if we get it, we're probably unlikely to get promoted.
Who do you think's going up then in the top two?
Has to be Wolves. They just have to go up. They've struggled, but they're not that far away.
Right. Would you put money on Wolves to go up though?
Would I put money on them?
I wouldn't.
I won't put money on anybody to go up. But no, they should go up. And Wimbledon as well. But Wimbledon, I looked at them again today and I just kind of went, for God's sake, 40-year-olds, 38-year-olds. They have a good squad, but they don't go up there banjacks.
What's wrong with 40-year-olds?
Completely banjacks if they don't go up the season. On a football pitch.
Oh, right. And who's top of the Division 3?
Charlton.
Charlton, yeah, they're going very well. They did lose 2 games, I think 3-0 in a row, but they bounced back with a win. I see they changed their system as well. And Ben Livens is manager them. He's a good manager. They're doing well. They don't have the best squad in the league, but they certainly don't have the worst.
Very tight.
They've got a young squad.
Yeah.
They're really young. That's really good.
See, that's it. Yeah, that's it too. If they don't go up, it's not a disaster.
Now, there is a manager that's target is just to survive relegation. I'm just wondering if Reading might be a dark horse.
Yeah, they should be.
Because Ali's target
they're in the
safety.
playoff. He's got to go for promotion, hasn't he, with Reading? Come on. He can't. That's ridiculous.
He's just signed that Malcolm geezer, isn't he?
Exactly, come on.
Yeah, but he's up for the fight for relegation.
He's got 89s in his squad, for goodness sake, and he's wanting to stay up. Come on.
And young players, like, it's Richarlison and players like that as well. 20-year-olds, they're 87 rated on that.
Nah.
So, in fairness as well,
this.
it's not criticising him. He is a good manager. Like,
he's a very good manager.
Unbeaten. He's unbeaten since he joined. So, and he has a squad. You can go out and buy Malcolm like for 16 million, you know.
Right. In fact, I'm not actually sure if Ali's lost a league game ever in TFF.
Yeah, because was he not unbeaten with Sheffield United?
Yeah.
And the playoff lost in the final.
Yeah.
So technically, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. We have to get.
He's sixth on the table at the moment, and he's doing well there. He's won 3 of the last 5, 2 draws.
He's doing well.
So,
all right.
He's got some future stars there, Richarlison.
I actually fancy Ali to finish in the top 2.
He has it.
All right. Yeah, he's got loads of Brazilians, Andy.
Yeah, he loves them.
Yeah.
But did he buy them?
On to Division 2. Let's get that one out of the way. Dan, you made a shocking start to the season, having said you're going to get promoted, and but you have but you have improved. You have improved.
Yes. I sold Dzeko.
Yeah. Why did you do that then?
Basically, I dropped him for 1 game. Fed up of him. He scored 1 goal in about 20 games. Yeah, for a 92, I think that's pretty ridiculous. Yeah.
Yes.
So I thought, right, get rid of him.
Yeah.
Got my main man, Kramaric, back up there, didn't I?
Yeah.
Had to have him back. And ever since then, I've been on kind of a roll. But last 2 games haven't been too great. The last game I lost against Rotherham, I've got to change the tactics from the Sunderland game and the Cup. So I was playing defensive against Rotherham. Which
I know another manager who forgot to change his team for a big game. It will come to me in a minute. Anyway, back to you, Dan.
What about his keeper?
Yeah, so I still have high hopes. Doing quite well, but you know, time will tell. But there's a lot of good managers in there, and it is a very, very tough league. You know, so
yeah, no, it's a dogfight, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm really surprised. Gillingham is just doing fantastic at the moment. You know, he's a great manager. He is definitely going to be up there, isn't he?
No, he is. In his spare time, he's walking on water.
Yeah,
he's doing very well. Very well.
Credit to QPR as well. You know,
Dario's a great manager. I like Dario. Yeah.
You know.
Funnily enough, though, actually, I think Wolves have a better squad than Gillingham.
Well, what does that say?
If not, it's very, very close. But that tells you 2 stories, really, you know.
Yeah. Well, didn't Gillingham beat Wolves to go up? I can't remember.
Really? Yeah.
I can't remember. I know they beat Bolton, but I can't remember.
Nice, isn't it? Out there, yeah.
All right. So, listen. The results are in an hour, so the whole thing what we're saying will be out of date. But as we are speaking,
that's why I don't want to speak about too much or gloss about being unbeaten.
as we're speaking, QPR, Gillingham, and then Villa. Is that it?
Yeah.
I still think Villa will probably be up there at the end.
Yeah.
I have to say, there's one team doing really well, and that's Barnsley. You know, everybody tipped them relegation,
Yeah,
and
good
he's
old
staying
Mick.
up. Mick's doing really well. You know, he's been doing great.
Did you lose to Rotherham, Dan?
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, last game. Yeah.
Because his team's had a lot of rises and their values a lot higher. But I don't know how
He's a
strong.
good manager, Rotherham's manager. I predicted at the start of the season he'd be doing well.
Well, here's a question to you three gents. Is someone who spots lots of players and gets lots of rises, is that a good manager, or is that just someone who's pretty quick at finding talent?
Yes, that is a good manager. And you're going to come to me in a minute, right? And I'm going to fill you guys with some wisdomful words, right? Because I've got a real view on what a good manager is, right? Yeah. Soccer manager, right? Driven on numbers, all that sort of thing.
Andy, let me stop you there. You don't want to give out all the toys. It's like a girl on the first date taking it up the arse. You want to just hold it back a bit and give it to. Save it, Andy. Save it. You got some good stuff for us.
Don't let me put out too quickly, all right?
Yeah.
Right then, I can sense Andy's got some good stuff for us tonight.
I've got some good stuff.
Right, but we're on to you now, Andy. Coming in on to Division 1.
Rob, can I say something about Rotherham really quickly?
Yeah,
You're talking about the job he's doing, but at the same time, he's only 4 points from the top, so it's not just about bringing in players and scouting. He's actually doing a good job, even aside from that. They're 4 points from the top of the table, so you know.
Fair point. Yeah.
So he's getting a blend of what he's doing, and he's doing that very well, you know.
Fair. Yeah.
Can we also mention Swansea? He's like it. 5 points out of 18.
Yeah, that's poor.
No comment. There you go. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah, it's poor. Lewis is one of the biggest spenders in that league. A lot of noise about them being top 2. They're finding it tough. It's a tough division.
Games. They haven't won in 6 games.
He will be acutely aware of that. but thanks.
He's got a head off.
Well done, Dan. Your stake was high with Louis before that comment.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. So right, Andy, on to you now. Division 1. How's things going with Everton?
Well, do you know what? For a team that's playing with the youth keeper, right?
Yeah.
It's the Renshaw show. That's what's going on. Bar one little wobble against Spurs, and that was a wobble. We've done all right, you know. 8th in the league, some good results against some big teams. Turned Man City over the other day.
Yeah.
It's starting to come to fruition. The whole Everton project is starting to pay dividends now.
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? You lose to Spurs and then go and whack Man City. That was a funny one.
That's the nature of football, isn't it?
Yeah. I wonder what Craig was doing that day.
No, exactly. Probably the same thing I was doing when I cheated with the old keeper fiasco.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well done. I salute you for your your ambition to play all these youths. You know, you obviously feel strongly about playing 70-rated goalies. Any reason for that?
I've just got an eye. I've got an eye for upcoming talent. That's all I'll say. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, Rico's gonna have a trick getting back in the team with how Renshaw's playing.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet you give it a long thought there. It kind of like you're making the rules up as you go along, really, Andy. I mean, you're making idiots out of us. Why don't we all get rid of our goalkeepers, free up a load of money, and pay 70 rated? What's the point?
So yeah, it was what. There's been twice in my career at Everton I've had a lapse in concentration. Once was that final against Leeds.
Is that twice this week or twice in the whole?
Twice overall, and the second time was that Rico moment where I got Pickford, which was a bit of an odd one because I do think he's going to get better in the future, and it goes against my philosophy of the game.
Yeah,
but I see a lot of potential in Rico. I wanted him there, and I just got myself for a moment. So, but you know, like people make mistakes. It's about how you come back from them, and I've been playing Renshaw. I'll stick to the punishment.
Yeah, you took that like a man. You were very magnanimous about that.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake, and it's easy. It's easy when you make those mistakes to get frustrated at the rules that create some stuff. But at the end of the day, the rules are there.
I mean, Andy, totally. I mean, listen, there are cynics out there that they'll probably say, "Oh, Andy's pulling a fast one," but no, clearly it was a mistake. You know. You didn't mean to do that. You didn't mean to get found out. I mean, make that mistake. So, Keith, you remember that when he bought Rico? What was the problem with buying Rico? Anyway?
Well, I think it was that I recalled a guy from loan.
Oh, okay.
And then sold him, didn't you?
Yeah, so the guy that I called back from loan was part of the deal.
That's it.
So, I mean, there was no... and then I used... And Pickford and this guy went in for the deal. So, it was. I genuinely just overlooked it.
Fair enough. And you got a bit of abuse, didn't you, in the Facebook group, I'm afraid?
Yeah, I did, yeah. But
fairness to be 8th, though.
Mainly from Keith, I think.
With a 70-rated goalkeeper. Pretty impressive.
Andy Guest has the last laugh. Andy Guest has the last laugh. It's all about Renshaw.
When Rico comes back, he'll start dropping down the table, though.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah. Right, Andy, what happened with this cup final to Richie?
You'll have to replace him again.
Keith, you weren't... I don't think you joined TFF, but Andy got to a cup final last year, lost 4-0 to a Division 2 team.
No, I only came in 5 games ago. I missed that. But I've heard about it. But,
so is Richie like some genius god manager, or did you forget to choose your team, Andy?
Definitely not a genius god manager, no. He's more like a smart demigod manager.
Oh, he'll take that. He's been called worse.
He'll take that. No,
he'll take
I won't take Richie, right? He had a phenomenal season, and he built a team, you know, he picked up the baton and sorted Dan's team out. But that was just
oldies, in it.
That was a genuine... poor planning. You know, you've got 3 games to work through to the final. You know who's going to go down in the match fitness, and you know you've got to bring in.
That's right.
I didn't plan it, so I ended up playing my B team just because they were fit.
Yeah.
And they weren't cut out for it.
Right. No, of course not. Andy, your season last year wasn't the best, and you got quite a bit of stick. Because I know in real life you're busy, like a lot of people, and that's all it is to it. So you were getting a bit of stick for Everton sort of being in the lower half, but then you get to this cup final and it's like, if you win that cup, that's going to just change everything. So I think it was a big surprise when that happened, you know?
Potentially, but then that goes to the outlook people have on Soccer Manager. So I don't think I did too bad last season. If you look at that Everton squad on paper...
Where did you come?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Think about the squad on paper. Think about risers, everything like that. No, look... It's a marathon, not a sprint.
I mean, so you've got Pep Guardiola, right? And Man City come 15th next season, right? But he'll point to the camera and he'll say, yeah, but I've got this riser and I've got this riser. What more do you want? So is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I think what he'll say is, I've got this rise, this guy's getting better, you know, and this guy, I mean, look at Delph.
Is that enough?
Someone in Man City signed Delph. Well, if it's one season, this season we're going to get better. The next season we're going to get better. Now, if I don't get better, I'll take the stick. But I'm going to get better.
All right, Andy, look, let me say this, right? This season's a write off for Spurs. I'm owed a season of... I'm owed a bit of due grace. Next season, if I don't get top 6 in the cup run, I'll quit. And I'll take a Division 4 team.
Yeah?
What are you going to do?
I won't need to quit, because you'll see... Keith's gone.
We'll get him back.
He just heard you say quit and he left.
He'll come back. It's this Irish technology. Right. So, I don't know what's happened to Keith. But this has happened before. Alright, so Andy, where were we?
So if you're saying that if you don't have a good couple of seasons with Spurs, you'll leave, yeah?
I'm saying I think any team... there are certain big clubs in the TFF. And I think if you're a manager or custodian of that team, I think you have to be realistic. You have to hit certain targets, and if you don't, you should step aside. And I know you have a different opinion.
So I agree with you. You've got to show improvement, right? But I didn't see improvement just about. You've got to show improvement on quality of players. Got to grow up, so you've got to be able to see developing players.
The maturity of players.
Yeah, you've got to see rises. So the fans would accept poor league results if.
Okay, I think I'm back, am I? Sorry, I don't know what happened. Someone tried to ring and knock the whole thing off.
Yeah, you just
go on ahead.
You just turn up when you like, Keith. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like we're professional.
No.
So if you have poor league results, but you can show you've got a rising squad value, I don't think that's a bad outcome. And I think we're a bit too harsh on certain managers that aren't getting instant results. And it's because of that I have a problem with how certain teams are run. And we go, great manager, and I say, crap.
Name names.
No. But I don't know if you run Scunthorpe, but that's like a retirement home, right? And that is just one of many teams, right, who go for the highest rated player to get instant results just to keep themselves in the shadows of criticism. But I see what's going on there. I see we're buying the oldest, highest rated player.
Right, Andy, good point. I like it. I can't disagree with it, but I am going to, and I'm going to counter it. Right, so if you are, I don't think as a small club in Division 4, Division 3, you should be going for loads of high-rated players. I think you should be trying to develop your teams. I think all the lower division teams should be trying to develop their teams for the future and try and grow the club, right? Not like a Wimbledon, Brentford whole thing. For me, that's disgusting. But here's the counter argument to that. If you're a manager of a big club in TFF, I don't think it's good enough to go 2-3 seasons winning nothing, not doing anything, not playing any store-by results. Because I'm developing the team. I'm putting youth together. Because there has to be a point, if you've got one of the biggest clubs in TFF, if you've got a greater squad value, if you've got greater revenue, greater attendances, there has to be some sort of pressure on delivering better results than people that don't have those advantages. Right?
So I agree with that to a point, right? I say you should be. People like, if you want to take like Nick's route of West Ham, I actually think he's building a really nice team, but he's bottom of the table. Right?
Very nice team. Very attractive team.
But if he gets relegated, that's a bad season for Nick.
Yes.
Right? Nick's took a hit on ratings because he's building a team for the future, but he needs to stay up. Right? Now, if teams want to apply that approach and they want to say, I want to build a team for the future, right? But on that level of club, I can't afford to drop the division. Right?
No.
Nick's not going to uproot any trees at West Ham, but he cannot get relegated.
No, if he gets
that's
relegated,
what happened with me.
If he gets relegated, that's a failure. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care how attractive his team is, and it is attractive. If they get relegated, he hasn't done his job properly. And it's
agreed.
But at the same time, he's only 6 points away from 7th. So
it's very early days, isn't it? So, it's very early days.
Yeah. No, but he has a nice team, but he can't get relegated. He's not
even though you look, I last season, I had quite a lot of youngsters in the squad, but I weren't getting results. I kept failing, so I had to go and get some highly rated players to try and at least stay up.
Yeah.
And it got to the last day, and then I got relegated. Had to give it a good go, and now this season, I've had to try and get rid of all the old people again to try and, I wanted to go back to the young again.
Well, Dan, I would
go
put Bournemouth.
Way, really.
Although Bournemouth were in Division 1 now in Division 2, I don't really see a lot of difference between Bournemouth and the Division 3, Division 4 clubs I was talking about. Your average gate is what, 10, 11, 12,000. You're a small club.
It's 22 now.
It's gone 22. Up, sorry. I bet. What's your average attendance?
22. We fill the stadium every week.
Okay, but in Season 1 it wasn't, right?
No, it was 10,000.
And
for a Premier League side, it's ridiculous.
So my point is, sorry to switch game wells, but I'm Grasshoppers in NWO, and I'm basically not going to get promoted probably because I'm trying to get the wage bill down because we're not making any money. It was the same at Colchester.
Yeah.
It's about. I believe you've got to watch the bank balance. You've got to be a bit. It's not just about getting results. It's everything. You need
to have a balance. You need to have a balance at the club big time. Like at Blackburn there, we're actually making a little bit of money. Yeah. So I'm trying to get the balance of maybe trying to get the top 6 by making money at the same time. And that's what we're doing. So I'm not going to go out. I can go out and buy another few 87, 88 rated older players. I'm not doing that though.
Now, for me, a manager that gets that balance, they're the managers that impress me the most. Now, I look at Brentford. I was Brentford manager for about a week, and now Docky's. I didn't manage a game there, but their team was absolutely stuffed last year. I know the guy got them promoted, but they were about 6-7 million in debt. And so any prize money that they got just wiped the debt. So they had no money. They then got a 50 million investment, but 50 million doesn't buy you a team, doesn't buy you a squad. It might buy you 2 or 3 good players, 4 players maybe, but it's very, very difficult. So Brentford's been put in a really difficult situation.
Yeah, he's a few 87s in a starting 11. That's
Well,
not
he's
great.
also. I'd love to get Doc on actually because he just seems to be buying young players a lot as well, which is very brave. But
yeah, I think the oldest he has is 31 there, so
yeah,
it's pretty good.
The thing is, though, those sort of managers, they should be rewarded a bit. Like, you think about TFF, it's different. It's a little bit out of the ordinary to normal soccer manager. You've got a group of people, and you've got the potential there's been a 10-year thing, right?
Yeah.
So I would say some of these people are bringing in players that might have really poor 4 or 5 seasons, but in season 10, speaking to you, Rob, and saying, yeah, the first 5 seasons were terrible, but look at me now. I'm reinventing the wheel.
Yeah. You can do that if you're a manager of a smaller club. I don't think you should be allowed that luxury if you're a big club.
To a point, yeah. I think the top 4, 5, 6 maybe, and I think there's other teams that should be me, West Ham. You know, you're pushing for your 7th, 6th. You know, should be mid-table minimum. You can afford to take a hit and drop to the bottom third of the league as long as you don't drop out of it, and as long as that drop, immediate, short term, pays dividends in the long term.
Yeah. Now, when we all start game worlds and we choose our team, and the teams were handed out like confetti one hot summer's night last year, right, when Nick and Hammer decided to repair the damaged TFF, the teams were getting handed out like confetti. Now, this is my... I couldn't have Tottenham because Hammer took them, so I took Colchester, my hometown. But all the clubs, all the best clubs were taken. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to go into a really interactive game world like this one, it's an intense game world, and you're going to take one of the big clubs, you need big balls. You need big, juicy balls, right? And if you're going to take one of these big clubs in a big, active game world where we've got Facebook groups, we've got panel shows, you're gonna get a bit of criticism, you're gonna get a bit of stick, and you're gonna get a bit of banter if you don't win or you don't. Isn't that par for the course? Isn't that like real life?
Yeah, 100%. The bigger the club, the bigger and broader your shoulders have to be, right? So any manager, I'm there. I've took the criticism. I've messed up at Leeds, the keeper, right?
Yeah.
You got to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
You know, Nick will be the same with West Ham. Be a load of people. If people aren't doing that and acting and operating at that level with the clubs at, then you need to question as a manager.
Yeah.
Well, there's bigger teams that have struggled, like Chelsea have struggled big time. I know they've moved up the table a bit now, but over 2 seasons they've struggled, haven't they?
Yeah.
They have Ronaldo, Coutinho,
Glenn is a manager that's formerly known as Jose. I was very critical of this particular manager because for one reason, not because of results, because anyone can have bad results, we all can. My criticism of him was he did a post in season 1 and said, I will be manager of Chelsea even if we go all the way to the bottom of the TFF. And I thought, well, that's selfish. Because I think if you are struggling, move aside. Not leave the game world. Not leave the game world. Stay in the game world, but let someone else have a go and you take a smaller team. But
it also gives careless attitude, you know. Gives a careless attitude as well.
Yeah,
you know?
So Keith, this season things have changed a bit.
If I struggle, so what, like, you know?
Yeah, but Glenn, to be fair, has now come out and said, if things don't improve, I've made a few signings. If they don't work, he's going to step down, and that seems to be. He seems to have done a U-turn. Other managers of other big clubs, Hammer left Spurs. All right, we can talk all day about the state he left Spurs in, but he at least left Spurs and he's gone to Forest. Then that's another argument. Should he have even gone there? But at least Hammer's done that, and Hammer's done a lot of good for the game world. But as I say, if you're a manager of a big club, the pressure's there.
The pressure's there, and you've got to be able to deal with it. If there's the big teams at the minute, I mean, United have been under a lot of scrutiny. Man City a bit up and down, and the truth is,
I think the Man City thing's a bit harsh, though.
He's had a good season, That's what. But
he did win the league last season. I wasn't there.
Keith, it's all about transfers. That's why he got all.
I know that. No, I know that. He kind of brought in players that he lessened the squad, the quality of the squad.
But he's still up there.
What's that?
But he's still up there, isn't he?
But he's still up there, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so even if he is making these really weird transfers, he's still up there.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
If he's doing the job.
Yeah.
Doing the job,
Exactly. Yeah.
I think the criticism would be for how much longer is he going to be up there.
Yeah, but that's why we've got to be consistent, though, Rob. So he is going to drop off because his transfers are shite. But what you're going to find is other teams who aren't necessarily up there at the minute, who bought well, but the players aren't quite reaching that rating that they should be at, they'll overtake Man City, right?
Yeah.
And we're not being consistent with those teams. They're buying well.
All right, Andy, give me an example then, other than Nick Justice. Who else is buying well, do you think?
Well, there's this geezer at Everton, and he's doing a cracking job with building for the future. Let me get him out. Honestly, so Newcastle are buying some good youngsters.
Yeah,
right?
Mark, yeah.
Mark, right?
He's struggling, isn't he?
Nah, but he won't be.
He won't be. No.
He's got Jesus. He's got the geezer with the headgear at Man City. There you go. It's a Suso. Right? He's got all these boys.
Keeps having
are
a
going
fight
to
on
do
his own.
wonders.
Yeah, no, Newcastle are going to be good in the long term.
No, but hang on. I know they're probably not getting the praise because they're doing so well. But Watford, like, look at their squad.
Yeah, Watford's good.
This is the second season in TFF, and he has Watford possibly contenders for the title. At least second place. Anyway, I know Arsenal look.
It's quite an old team, though, isn't it?
Watford.
Well, he's got the balance, hasn't he? He's got the balance.
Yeah, I know it's an old team, but Peter Cech,
he's got
only
Tolisso.
91. Yeah, Luka Modric is still a class player. Tolisso. Sacco's the strange one, but he's rated 90.
Well, the game worlds I've been in with Noisy.
PSG.
Noisy seems to be really up for winning things. Like,
he's Pulisic as well. Pulisic is the other one. So there is a mix there of
Who
young
else?
and old players.
Let's
Leicester.
praise some managers.
There's your...
Look at Leicester.
Yeah.
Right. I like that. Mid 20-year-olds, Zielinski, stuff like that. These players are going to be, they might be 90, 91 now. They're going to be your next 93, 92 batch, right? Then all of a sudden, Leicester, they're going to supersede Man City.
Furt's a very good manager, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some clout, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's doing well. I think we've said this before, a lot of the best managers in TFF, not necessarily in Division 1.
No.
Well, I wouldn't take a job in Division 1 if it was offered, Rob, honestly.
I think there's a lot of good ones in Division 2.
No, I swear, look at him laughing there, but honestly, if Chelsea came up and saying it now and not taking them, what's the point? You've nothing to build there.
No.
Ronaldo reason.
No, Keith,
okay, you could win the league, but
Keith,
what a cheap
I agree with you. I should have stayed at Colchester. It's so much more fun in Division 4.
Yeah, I've said that a few times. Yeah. I know what you mean as well, because
yeah.
It's more of a project. With the likes of Blackburn there, I see as a project. So if I went to Chelsea tomorrow, I can win the league possibly, and if I do that, so what?
I know. And I left Grasshoppers and went to PSG, and I thought, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah.
So I think some of your best managers are in the Euro League. Mick, he was on the other day, weren't he?
Yeah, Barnes
has got some great players. Southend, Ryan, is it?
Ryan Shaw.
Yeah.
He's good. Ryan Shaw's a good manager.
I think he's a bit of an unsung hero in that game world as well.
Ali Hayder.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Dario.
Yeah,
I think they're good.
Chris Stapps as well is a good manager.
Chris Stapps
you need
doing very well.
Like
Not
you need.
Well, hang on, who's Chris Stapps at? Northampton.
Yeah.
Johnny, Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, no, I disagree with Chris Stapps.
Yeah, Johnny McKennan's a very good manager.
Johnny's a good manager.
What do you expect?
Yeah.
Look how old they are. Look at that. My nan's birth certificate says less numbers than that.
Who's he talking about? Scunthorpe?
Northampton. Chris Stapps.
Yeah, but in other game worlds he's doing well. I know he's a good
Yeah,
manager.
but this is TFF, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
We're doing a panel show for TFF.
There's no such thing as another game world here.
Right then, lads, this is your time now. Who wants to talk about anything you like? Because I'm all out.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about something actually, and I think Rob knows what I want to talk about, don't you?
No, I don't.
No?
Go on, Keith.
Where's he gone? No, the actual voting for the managers.
Oh, yeah. Go on then. Good one.
Yeah, that's something I want to talk about. It's just, you see jobs that come up, big jobs that come up or whatever.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that people vote for a name as opposed to really look at the individual candidates.
Or their mate. Vote for their mate.
Yeah, kind of a thing. Like,
it reminds me of the Eurovision, Keith.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Eurovision, yeah, for God's sake.
It's a bit like, it's like Hammer. No offence, he's done a lot for this game world, but he weren't doing it at Tottenham. Why should he deserve Nottingham Forest when, the Cheltenham manager was top of the league, doing really well. You know,
in his case, it should have been Division 4 club.
Yeah.
Wasn't Cheltenham top, Dan?
What?
yeah, they were top. They're top of the league. They were
yeah.
top of the league when Nottingham Forest come up.
Yeah.
And he was doing really well, so I voted for him because he was...
Yeah, but Dan, that was only 2 games into the season. He didn't do very well last year, did he? I've never heard of him.
But then, what did Hammer do last season after the second half?
No,
you know?
Dan, I wasn't impressed with either candidate. It should have gone. Maybe it should have gone external. I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
Well, that happened as well. Sometimes a lot of people put themselves up for the job and they're like mid-table or something like that, and they're not doing a great job anyway. So it becomes a bit like,
yeah,
like a coin.
This is another thing.
But at the same time, I still think there's an element of people who don't look at the candidates and go through the teams.
For sure.
Yeah.
They say there's 5 candidates. Do they go through all the teams and have a look at them in depth?
No.
Probably not.
No.
You know,
Same for
personally, I
manager of the
do.
month, Keith.
I don't care if it's Johnny or Jim or Paul. Like I just, you know what I mean. I'll go for who I think is the best man for the job. Who I think is the best.
Keith, it's exactly the same for the manager of the month voting.
So we vote manager of the month now, yeah?
No.
Well,
When is the manager of the month?
We
Is
can.
it before
It's
tonight's
today.
game or after?
This is the vote of the
It's
manager.
today the manager of the month. Yeah.
Right.
oh yeah.
Right. then.
After.
Keith, just to follow up on what you said, I don't understand why managers that are maybe in the bottom 3 or 4 or 5 go for another job.
Apply for them. That's another thing. Yeah.
I'm like,
It's bizarre.
have you no shame? Shouldn't you sort out the mess you're currently in?
Exactly. As well, so how can you expect to be in the bottom 3 and get Liverpool or Chelsea or Arsenal or somebody like that? Not Spurs.
It's only if you're going for a team above, I take it, yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
So
What's
if you're in the bottom half and you're going for a lower team, I guess that's acceptable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Say you're
Big
manager
team.
of a team in the bottom 3 of one of the lowest divisions. Why should you be
Yeah.
giving a team much higher? This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Even in the Premier League, as any team actually.
We should be rewarding
take
the
that-
managers doing well, not struggling.
Yeah.
All right. So, right, Andy, what have you got to say? Dan tells me you got some stuff.
Couple of things, then. Yeah, couple of things.
The stage is
I want
yours.
to first of all.
Let's get the popcorn. Sorry.
Yeah.
On Dan, life and soul, he centre the party, right? So, couple of things for me. First of all, right, a lot of criticism, right, towards Mr. Hammer.
Right.
Right, and I want to say a couple of things. So I look at TFF for its complete entirety. I look at it as competitive game world, good managers, results, players, teams, different philosophies. But I also recognise the people that make the game world what it is. Right? So look at Hammer, with all the bongs, with all the videos he did, right? Same as you, Rob, right? You're two of the same beast. You guys make the game world what it is. You don't always necessarily get it right. Hammer
Steady
didn't get it
there.
right as
Come
players,
on.
but
When did I ever get it wrong?
But
When you went to Brentford.
But I'll defend him. The guy deserves more latitude than we as a community give him. He messed up catastrophically, which he'd admit, but he'd given so much to TFF in season 1, he deserved a bit of a break, right? So that's all I'll say on Hammer.
Yeah.
Right? And good luck to him at Forest.
He'll like that, Andy, because he was not feeling the love, so he'll appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I think we all just need to remember that, right? There's people that offer. Some people aren't great at managing a team, right?
Yeah.
But he does other things to the game world.
Yeah, but some people run a panel show, don't they? So. But listen, we just got to remember that we all enjoy it because of things like that. Yeah. So there's that. The other thing is, these people buying old players, right? Yeah. And it partly goes into my frustration with the loan rule, which I didn't play much of a part in agreeing or making, but people depend on loans, right? Loans should be a luxury. Mm-hmm. If I'm loaning a player out to a club, I reserve the right to be able to pull him back, sell him, play him in my cup games, whatever, at my merry. And I can't because people rely on my loans. So next season, I'll be saying, look, guys, anyone want a loan off me, you can have them off me with the basis that if I need to call them back, you've got to be okay with that. If you're not having to play a first out.
Seems fair enough to me.
I think that's for me, and that's because we buy old people and we're trying to compete.
I think that's fair enough once the managers agree with it.
Yeah. Hasn't Nick got a report?
Once the managers agree with it, but there has to be I can see confusion there, and someone going, "You never said this," and all this kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? You said it could have him on loan for the whole season or whatever. I can see that kind of coming into it. That could be a problem as well.
I agree. And then
a season's a long time. Can we just add? Because you can get loads of injuries, and then the squad is, and then you could be struggling. Let's just say he was struggling. He might need to get that extra funds to get an extra player. So I do see the point.
The interesting thing is, if we had this loan rule, it'd make more sense if you had transfer windows, right?
Yeah.
You know what your squad is, and you know what you've got till the window. You can afford to do short-term or long-term loans.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't do that in this game world because we'd all be broken. We can't do transfers every 5 minutes, right? Which does make it interesting, I know, but it means that sometimes as a big club, I wanted to sell my average keeper for a great keeper, but I need someone to supplement the deal. I'm tied down.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to be like sour grapes about it. That was my fault for not paying attention to the rules properly. But I will just say we need to be smarter about stop buying old people because they're cheap and they're going to retire in 5 minutes' time. Try and build something for the future. That, for me, is a great manager. The great managers, for me, do that. Barnsley manager, he's done that. He's not going to uproot trees straight away, but he will get results in the future.
He's doing well now.
Yeah.
Just what he can do in the future.
And he's doing well now. Imagine what he does with a team like Man United.
To balance that, somebody might say, well, a game world needs all kinds of different managers and type styles.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's why we're doing this, aren't we? That's
Otherwise,
why we're talking, because we would, yeah. Well, we have got one, haven't we? I think, but this is why we enjoy it, because everyone's different. My opinion is going to be the complete anti-opinion to someone else, and that's what makes football a beautiful game.
It's all subjective, but I find it's really helpful to have a panel show, and then your opinion can just rough ride over everyone else's. So my voice is even louder, even if I'm talking absolute crap like I usually do. So just get yourselves a panel show. That's the solution. Yeah.
The last thing I will say, right? The community make this game world the game world, right? Let's be honest. We've all got game worlds, haven't we? That we log into, we enjoy. We've got good teams.
Yeah.
It's all the people. It's the Facebook groups. It's the arguments. It's the talking football. It's the panel shows. That's what makes it.
Well,
and that's what I say is that,
Andy. That seems to all of those things make up the passion.
Yeah, it's the passion. It's the people. It's just the community. The TFF. It's not about so much the teams, but everyone who's making it.
Of course,
I enjoy looking on the Facebook group and looking at Louis aggravating people, looking at people biting, looking at the banter we've got. Do you know what makes it TFF? Yeah, and you wouldn't have it any other way, would you?
No, it's the one result.
The only thing is, Louis knows which ones are going to bite and which ones.
Louis does. That's why Louis does it.
Yeah, but he's been very good lately. He's been very quiet. He's stepped back.
Yeah, because he's been doing so badly. So
you get the sense he's grinding his teeth.
I think Louis felt a bit peed off about people attacking him in the game world the other week.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps he probably feels like, hang on a minute, it's not just all him. There's other people,
Yeah.
Well, arguments are fine once they're constructive and that kind of thing. Like,
I know they get silly and personal, but the game world.
I know some people just completely leave, and like Cam as an example just left completely.
But anyone who's not in the Facebook group won't have a clue what we're talking about, because the game world isn't particularly volatile now.
That's true, actually. Yeah, that's true.
The news feed's doesn't seem a lot going on. We need more arguments in the news feed, don't we?
I think Louis, he's got away with words, but do you know what? Anyone who's anyone would read into it. Louis just got a way of prodding people, but he doesn't always mean bad by it.
No,
you can't take these things seriously anyway. So.
It's interactive.
Listen. I'll say this for him. He's honest as the day's long. He's actually a good guy, but he probably gives off a different impression to some people. But that, there's other people that I'd trust Louis over a lot of people in TFF. That's for sure.
Put it this way, there's no cheating in the game world. There's nothing like that he does. Like, he manages his team.
No. But you're right, Andy, about the community. This all started actually in the original TFF that Iv had, which was anyone who was in that, it was a madhouse. It was makes this one look like Bambi. That was a mad game world, and the
Is that
arguments.
a bird background or something?
Not
fireworks.
Oh, it's fireworks. Yeah, it's New Year's Eve, Keith.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that Nick and Hannah put this one together. I'm glad that we restored this TFF brand
We
and
made
it goes.
better.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
That's a really good league. Like, I've only been in it, I don't know, how many matches? 15 altogether, and I think it's excellent. Like, it's the one match. It's the one I don't want to lose every week. I do not want to lose in TFF.
No, I know. But the problem is, Keith, when you do lose, you'll know because it will flash up on your screen.
Yeah.
And
it will be tonight, I guarantee it.
It'll be tonight, yeah.
Right, lads, it's 45 minutes. I'm going to stop it today. It's New Year's Eve. Let's have a shorter one tonight.
Very good.
Thanks very much, lads, for coming on.
Happy New Year, guys. Good job.
Happy New Year, TFF.
See you later.